For the first time, the Royal Canadian Navy has armed and launched an explosive-laden sea drone during a live military drill, marking a turning point in the country's approach to maritime warfare. Conducted off Vancouver Island during exercise Trident Fury 2025, the test involved a Hammerhead uncrewed surface vessel, USV, repurposed into a remote-controlled strike platform and deployed from HMCS Vancouver. The drone was guided via satellite and detonated upon impact with a second USV, simulating a real-world attack. This unprecedented experiment echoes recent battlefield tactics employed by Ukraine, where explosive drones have repeatedly targeted Russian naval assets. The Canadian version was developed in just 2 months using existing inventory, according to Vice Admiral Angus Topsey, and is part of a broader initiative to assess how current technologies can be modified to serve offensive roles. Originally acquired in 2017 as moving targets for naval gunnery practice, the Hammerhead USVs, designed by Kinetic Target Systems, are 5.2-meter-long vessels capable of reaching 40 knots in calm waters. Weighing nearly a ton and powered by 135 horsepower engines, they can simulate swarming attacks, evasive maneuvers, or coordinated group assaults with up to 40 units. Until now, they were strictly used for training purposes. This new weaponization trial reflects a significant doctrinal shift, even if officials stress that the program remains in a proof-of-concept stage. The test was coordinated by the Advanced Naval Capabilities Unit, ANCU, which worked alongside the Pacific Fleet's diving and tactical teams. The exercise aimed to evaluate the feasibility of remote explosive delivery using current Canadian naval systems. While the trial doesn't yet translate to operational deployment, it opens the door to future capabilities built around unmanned, expendable strike craft. The move comes as Canada re-evaluates its defense strategy in light of evolving global threats and its own logistical limitations. With a massive coastline and finite shipbuilding capacity, the RCN is turning toward smaller, cheaper, and potentially mass-produced systems to fill in capability gaps. This approach is seen as not only cost-effective but also potentially scalable for both Arctic defense and overseas missions. Canadian defense officials point to Ukraine's successful application of sea drones against superior Russian fleets as a key influence. Captain Pedro Mohiedin, speaking for Maritime Forces Pacific, acknowledged the strategic value of such platforms for nations with limited naval tonnage. Captain Sam Patchell, a senior commander within the Pacific Fleet, has also linked Canada's experimentation to recent naval developments in Eastern Europe. In tandem, Canadian firms like OSI Maritime, Cellular Robotics, and Kraken Robotics are developing AI-based navigation, underwater robotics, and autonomous systems that could support domestic production of combat-ready drone boats. Such technology could help build an indigenous supply chain, reducing reliance on foreign shipyards, a current necessity, as some vessel construction has been outsourced to Japan and South Korea. The ANCU, which leads Canada's uncrewed maritime experimentation, has roots in legacy special operations units and now oversees the integration of air, surface, and subsurface robotic systems. Its personnel, ranging from tactical boarding operators to advanced drone specialists, test, adapt, and train on emerging technologies, aiming to fast-track them into operational readiness. The Royal Canadian Navy has also been ramping up efforts in drone aviation and underwater sensors. Past programs include ScanEagle and Puma UAVs, with new initiatives testing UAV-USV relays and persistent seabed surveillance through large autonomous underwater vehicles. These efforts are tied into strategic infrastructure expansion in the Arctic, such as sensor networks and operational hubs aimed at boosting Canada's maritime domain awareness in contested regions. Historically, the idea of remotely piloted explosive boats is not new. Germany's wire-guided Fernlinkboot in World War I and Italy's manned explosive craft in World War II attempted similar concepts with limited success. But the modern use of fully autonomous or remote-controlled suicide boats began in earnest in 2017, when Houthi rebels struck a Saudi warship using an uncrewed explosive boat. Since then, Ukraine's successes have revived global interest. Nations across the globe, particularly NATO allies and adversaries like China, are developing maritime drones for strategic use in complex theaters. While most maintain strict human oversight over lethal platforms, the increasing presence of kamikaze sea drones raises new questions around rules of engagement, escalation control, and maritime security doctrine. In heavily contested waters, from the Black Sea to the South China Sea, such systems are rapidly reshaping naval calculus. Canada's experiment with an explosive Hammerhead marks its entry into this evolving arena. Though still experimental, it signals a willingness to explore asymmetric naval strategies and lays the groundwork for a new chapter in unmanned maritime warfare.